Angry guy here, and women are shocked that the men they rejected no longer want them. Guys, help me get to 100,000 subscribers by hitting the subscribe button, liking the video, and turning on notifications so that you will never miss another video from me ever again. Now let's begin. Today we're discussing why women are shocked that men they rejected no longer want them. Let's just go ahead and jump into the video.
You know what's worse than Sunday scaries? Saturday scaries. I messaged a guy that I did not talk to for like 8 years. Literally, like, hooked up with him like 8 years ago. And I randomly thought about him. Like, you know, like when you're single at like 28, you start thinking about, oh, maybe from the past, like, this is a good guy. Yeah, no. This is what went down. First, I messaged him, hey, stranger. He said, sorry, who's this? I said, Leah Bars. And then when I said, I said Leah, haha. And then I said Bars. And then when I sent Bars, it didn't say delivered. So I was like, did he block me? So then I did this. I went to his Venmo and I sent him $1 and I said, did you block me? And then he unblocked me and said, what's up? This is random. And I said, well, why did you block me? He said, why are you texting me? I said, whoa, I don't know, to catch up. He's like, it's been 8 years. I said, damn, I didn't know people couldn't talk again. I said, well, why did you block me? He said, why are you texting me? I said, whoa, I don't know, to catch up. He's like, it's been 8 years. I said, damn, I didn't know people couldn't talk again. My bad. He was like, I have a wife and kids now. Plot twist, my bad. He said, think you're a weirdo. I said, right back at ya. And then the conversation just ended, and honestly woke up mortified. Simply mortified. So please stitch this with any other stories that you have that are similar or worse than this, so it makes me feel better about my.
She really thought he would be there waiting for her 8 years later? Really?
You know, guys, it's unbelievable. But this is how modern day women think and how modern day women behave in Western society. Notice what she did and how desperate her actions was. If a man had ever done something like this, it would be all over social media. Women would be furious on social media. There would be other men literally saying, you know what, sis, you're in the right. No man should be doing something like that. You're absolutely right. That's a red flag, and you need to stay away from someone like that. That's really desperate attitude, desperate behavior. They cannot catch a drift. You should not be hitting someone up after 8 years. If they block you, you need to take the hint, gentlemen, and know when to walk away. There are plenty of fish in the sea. What did this woman do on the other hand? She literally went, thought about some guy. She's 28 years old. This is how serious it is, guys. All right. She met this guy 8 years ago. She had a relationship with him 8 years ago. Then she stopped talking to him. Instead, she was out in the streets because she said that it was a hookup. She was out in the streets. She had fun in the streets for 8 years. And now that she's 28 years old, she's headed towards 30. And within a number of years, within 7 years, a pregnancy from her will be considered a geriatric pregnancy. She's trying to make up for lost time. And she thinks of a random guy and goes, okay, hey, simp, I choose you. I'll allow you to have a child with me. Oh, well, guess what? No, I'm going to let you compete. Because keep in mind, she'll do this with a bunch of other guys. She'll do this with a bunch of other guys. But you can see that there was desperation there. These women that are going around saying that I'm the prize, guys, they're literally just bluffing. It's one big bluff. A man is born with his value. A man is actually born with value, but women don't want you to know that. They try to tear you down. They try to create the system, and the Sims have propped it up that the women have value just because they're pretty. Being pretty doesn't give you value. It just gives you it's basically just an opener. It's just a way that you can attract a man and get a man's attention. That's all being pretty does for you. Because especially when you take the makeup off, or once you're in a relationship and the passion is gone, being pretty doesn't mean anything. A man is paying for pretty. In that sense, you are not a prize, you are a price. He is paying just for access to your presence. That's ridiculous. If a man wants intimacy that he has to pay for, it's much better for him to just literally do that. Pay for it on his own terms. He can have access to it when he wants it and then walk away. Some dudes think, well, I may have a girl in my bed, so I can have it whenever I want. But that's not true, because the only thing she brings to the relationship is intimacy, which means he won't have it whenever he wants to. He's going to have to continually earn it in the relationship by giving her money, by taking her on gifts, basically attention, time, money. All right. So all of these things work out to one another. Okay, because attention and time and money, they're basically equivalent. Time equals money. Attention equals time. So attention equals time, time equals money. So what that tells you is that you are always giving her money one way or another. By removing your attention, by removing your time, or by removing your money, what does she actually have? A woman is not going to accept a man in Western society that does not bring money to the relationship. So why exactly would she think that she is the prize? It's because they've been pushing this narrative, and the Sims have propped them up, telling them that they're beautiful and that they're perfect and special on social media for decades now. And now they have this filled in their heads. Whenever they want a confidence boost, they jump on social media and it's telling them that they're wonderful. Here's the crazy thing about that. As men are walking away from Western society, women are beginning to see that the reality of the world, the reality of how things work outside of the internet, because the internet is not a real place. Twitter or X is not a real place. They're beginning to see that it's not real. So they can have a million different Sims in social media telling them that they're wonderful, special, and everything else. But how does that translate to the real world? How does that actually translate to dates? How does that translate to value? Sure, you can find a bunch of Sims that'll give you $9.99 a month to, show it to busted wide open on OnlyFools. But how is that going to affect you in the long term? What women are doing is they're selling out their futures for instant gratification in the present. They don't realize that they've lost everything. This woman was desperate. She literally sent $1 to this man's Venmo to get him to unblock her. And she thought that 8 years later, almost a decade later, he would still be sitting there like a simp that had no options, waiting for her to come back and give him the attention, give him access to her presence and allow him to compete for her. This man had already moved on, gotten married, had a child, and she thinks that he's the weirdo because he was not sitting around waiting for her. This is to show you how women view men. They view men as having no real value compared to them. The only value that they see a man having is what a man can provide for them. That's the honest to goodness truth. They can like things. They can like what a man could do for them. They can like certain traits about a man. They can like how he looks. They can like qualities that he has, but they will never actually like the man. They will never love him unconditionally. And as I've said before, she's never yours. She was never yours from the beginning. It was just your turn. And a lot of young men cannot accept this. And of course, the Sims are going to be out there. They're trying to spread propaganda and nonsense because they want to keep the game going. Because this is the way that they survive in society. Because this is how they compete.
Need a career to attract a man.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
No, you do not.
We do. We do not.
No.
We do not.
I want to say that's right, but I did mention before women lack empathy in the male experience.
Do you need status to attract a man?
What do you mean static?
Like, do you have clout? Do you need clout to attract a man?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like they would.
Do you need to be the most fit girl in the world to attract a man? You don't, right? Guess what? All four of those things that I just named, every man needs to have for them to even attract some type of girl. And you guys are the prize?
And if you lack one, the other has to be exceptionally high to make up for it.
And y'all are the prize?
But like,
You see, when you guys are so clueless, you think that girls need money to attract women. That's how I know you
what these bitches want from a
Guys, talk about delusion. What you're seeing, what women are saying in Western society. They are completely disconnected from reality. And one of the things is, I've said this before, what they're really saying is that if they're able to attract a man being who they are and not bringing anything of value to the relationship more than their looks, then they believe that, guess what? I have to be higher value than he is. Because if I was able to get this man to give me his value, and just for me being present, then that means I'm worth more than he is. And that's what social media, that's what Western society has conditioned women to believe, and it's conditioned men to behave in this way, taking women on expensive dates for decades that they didn't deserve. How did we go from dinner and a movie that would cost $30 to $300. It's ridiculous. Modern day women actually believe that when a man gets into a relationship with her, he is lower, even no matter how much money he has, no matter how handsome he is, no matter how tall he is, unless he's a Chad or Tyrone, she will never truly love him. And to be very honest with you, if a man is a Chad, and he has all of these qualities and he gets into a relationship with her, she will now respect him and desire him less because he lowered his value enough to accept her based on just her looks. Because that means that he was elevating her, because he did not say, I'm going to have women who will compete for me. I'm going to accept you just because you're arm candy. As a result, she's going to naturally think, I didn't have to do anything to get him other than being pretty. Hence, my value is greater than his, just based on the fact that my presence and my looks were solely enough. Overseas, women know different. They are fit, they are feminine, they are friendly, and then they add their utility. They cook, they clean, they are not argumentative. They create an environment that a man wants to live in. They are conscious of a man's money, the fact that he has to go out and earn this money and he has to provide for them. They try to create value in the relationship. Being fit, being feminine, being friendly. Those are the bare minimums just to get his attention and establish a connection with him. After they've established that connection with him, then they have to create value in the relationship for him to commit to them and then to continue remaining in the relationship with them. So women are not the prize. The man has always been the prize. And if you don't have a society where the state can extract wealth and resources from a man when he walks away from the relationship, when he walks away from the marriage, then guess what? The woman has nothing when he leaves, because he takes everything with him. So who's the prize? Who's left hurting? If the woman cannot extract his wealth and resources through the family court system, through the divorce court system, through the criminal justice system, through civil court, then what is she going to do? That means that the man is the prize, because he's leaving with the value and he leaves her with nothing. If she has a bunch of kids with this guy and he walks away and he doesn't have to pay child support like it is in some countries, in a lot of countries, for example, I was talking to a person from Africa, and he told me the child support system is very different there. The man will offer a very small amount of money. He'll go and get an attorney. He'll offer a small amount of money, and that's basically what the woman will get. There's no, I'm going to go into his bank account and take it. Nope, none of that. And there are different kinds of marriages that you can accept. So for example, you can agree that whatever he brings into the relationships and makes in the relationship throughout the marriage is his. So whatever he comes in with and whatever he makes in the relationship, that's his, and he leaves with that. And the same is for the woman. Only if he agrees that, whatever he brings in and whatever she brings in and whatever they make in the relationship together, they will split equally. If the relationship dissolves, only then can she get access to that. But he has to sign that form of marriage contract. There are different kinds of marriages in Africa. There are different kinds of marriages in Mexico, for example, as well. It's similar as well. They have that same type of thing. Only in America do they have this system where, the property division is going to work like we're going to give you half of his stuff at the bare minimum. Like, for example, I remember watching a video from Boogie 29988, and he talked about his marriage, and he said that basically in Arkansas, the way they work when it comes to divorce is the judge starts at 50%. So he said that when his wife left, when she said, I want a divorce, he gave her half. He cut her a fat check for half of everything, and he bought her out of the house. Even though he's the one who built all of that, he gave her half. And he said that it appeared she was willing to take less than that, but he gave her absolutely half. This way, he would not run into the problem again, because evidently in Arkansas, the judges, they start at half and then work their way up. Men are the prize. Men are the ones who have the actual value. Men bring their value to the relationship. Women have to create their value in the relationship. The being fit, being feminine, being friendly, their appearance, your beauty, a woman's beauty, those are things that only attract a man to her and will allow her to gain the attention of a man for a moment. But to actually establish a relationship and get a man to commit to her, she has to create value in the relationship. The man brings his value with him. He already has his value that he brings to the relationship before they've met. Before they've met, the man has his value. The woman has to create hers, though. She has to create a great value through cooking, cleaning, creating an environment for him where he's happy, making his life better through her actions. She has to learn how to do this. Some women literally will give their husbands a massage at nighttime before they go to sleep. When they prepare the man's food, they will cut up the man's food so it is easier for him to eat. When it comes to disciplining the children, they stay out of it and they allow the father to discipline his children. They learn how to be agreeable in the relationship. Even if they are not happy one day, they understand that the man must always have access to the woman's body so that he is never feeling overworked or stressed, because he can walk out and find someone else. So they don't restrain the man from that. That is a part of the relationship, and they understand that the intimacy, the physical intimacy, better be phenomenal. So they better put the work in. He should always have a full belly and an empty sack. Guys, help me get to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't. Hit the like button and turn on notifications to never miss another video again. What do you guys think? Women are shocked that the men that they rejected no longer want them. I want to know what you guys think in the comments, so let's talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.